If you are searching for the best exercise for muscle, then you are actually going to make the worst gains. If you are only doing exercises that are optimal, then you are leaving a lot of gains in the tank. Optimal and suboptimal are the new buzzwords on the internet. It is the concept that you have to do only those exercises that are optimal and throw rest of the exercises in the trash can. And if you see someone on the internet doing a suboptimal movement, then you have to go in his comment section and call him out an idiot for doing that exercise. If you are someone who is going after the so-called optimal movements, then this video is a must watch for you. It is going to be an eye-opener. Let us understand this optimal and suboptimal concept with an example. Let's say you have to build a house and you have two workers at your disposal, Bob and Rob. Bob is the best worker in the town and Rob is just average. Which one of those are you going to choose? If you said Bob, then that's where you are going wrong. Don't you think Bob will get tired after some point and he will need some rest? What if you allow Rob to work at that time when Bob is sleeping? Won't the work get finished faster? Isn't it the smart thing to do? I know it's in our instinct to go after the best thing, but sometimes going after the best thing is actually not the best idea. Selecting the best exercises for your individual scenario requires a lot of considerations, and it is not as black and white as saying optimal and suboptimal. So let us look at these things one by one. First one is your body type, and I don't mean these mesomorph, ectomorph and nomorph nonsense. I mean your bone structure and how your muscles insert. Depending on your bone structure, some exercises may respond very well to you and some might cause pain. The bench press is widely considered as the best exercise for your chest. But what if it causes shoulder pain in your scenario? Would you still continue doing it? That is basically sending a friend request to injuries. This is where individual considerations come into play. Even the best exercise in the world can become torture for some. This is where you have to look for some other so-called suboptimal movements, maybe the incline bench press or the weighted push-ups or the dips. See what works for you better. The second thing to consider is the stimulus to fatigue ratio. Every single exercise causes fatigue, but some cause more than others. Some exercises provide a lot of stimulus, but they also come with a lot of fatigue. This means some irritation to your joints, ligaments or tendons. This is not that dangerous, but when you consistently do these exercises, these minor irritations add up, and this fatigue adds up and can actually lead to injury. On the other hand, some exercises might not be that rewarding, but they also cause very little fatigue. This is where exercise swapping comes into play. There are exercises that are very rewarding but also come with a lot of fatigue. You have to change them frequently. Not on a daily basis but more frequently, and the exercises that are not that fatiguing, you can keep them longer in your program. The concept of exercise swapping is explained in way more detail in my ebook Reincarnation. Do check it out, the link is in the description. Some exercises will become stale after some point. Your body will simply stop responding to them. This is where you have to swap them with something else. No, this is not that frequent. You do not have to change exercise every single day to shock your muscle. But it will happen after some time. You will hit a wall and you will have to look elsewhere to move forward. Fourthly, every exercise hits the muscle from a different angle. If you have multiple exercises in your inventory, you will be able to hit a muscle from different angles and different ways. Here's an example. Both the pull-ups and rows target your back, but the pull-ups are mostly lats focused, while the rows, depending on how you do them, can actually target your mid-taps and rear delts. If you just discard the rows or the pull-ups thinking that they are suboptimal, then you are missing out on a lot of gains here. This is why you should not be looking at exercise from a black and white perspective. If you come across a new exercise, give it a try yourself, see how your body responds. If you think it works well, then keep it in your program, or else find something else. Try an exercise and then decide whether it's optimal or suboptimal in your particular scenario. Just because an exercise is suboptimal for you does not mean that it will be the same for everyone else. There is no such thing as a suboptimal exercise, but there's definitely a thing known as suboptimal effort. If your first rep and last rep of the set look exactly the same, then you're not going to make a lot of progress. Focus on training hard and progressively overloading instead of worrying about this internet nonsense of optimal and suboptimal. That is what will help you get those gains. Do check out my ebook Reincarnation. It has more than 85,000 words of valuable training advice that will help you get those suboptimal gains. And yes, there's also a channel by the name of Suboptimal Gains, and he has got a lot of good advice on this topic. I will leave a link to his channel in the description. That's it for this video. Like, share, subscribe, And do not forget to hit that bell icon and turn on notifications to all so that you do not miss out on any of my videos.